everyone. By everyone, I mean no one. Maybe like one or two people. I know, I'm so upbeat, right? So, what's the word? Positive thinking. Let's see. What was it that I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, commissions. I'm still really unsure about commissions. It's like I want to do commissions, but I don't know. They kind of scare me in a way, cause I don't know. I don't want to undersell myself because that's unfair to other artists and unfair to me. But I don't want to like charge too much because then that's not fair to people who want to buy my art. So I don't know. It's hard for me, but I think I've come up with okay prices for my level of skill and all that. Hopefully, like a lined, colored, shaded piece that's a full body would be like $30. That's like all the bells and whistles, really. So I don't think that's too outrageous. Like I'd pay $30 for, someone of a similar skill. I would commission someone $30 for a finished piece, full body, background and everything. But like, I don't know. I'm still kind of iffy about it because I'm new. I'm new at this stuff, and I know that being new at something comes with a lot of learning and a lot of mistakes. And I know that's okay, but it still kind of worries me. I don't know. Maybe I just worry about everything too much. I'm just a worrywart. Oops. I just worry about things way too much. It's like, it's not even worth, worrying about, really. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like the base price is like $4 for like, most of the stuff goes up by either $2 or $4 based on what you're asking for. But like the base price is a headshot sketch with a solid color background, like a solid color as a background, because that's not hard. You just fill in the back. But like solid color and like one color free, so I could do like a monochromatic color scheme. That would come with the $4 sketch commission. So basically be something like, let's see, let's take away all the colors. It'd be, I think this is, I don't know, it's closer to a finished line work than a sketch would be. But it'd be like, let's see. Let's do all image. let's say you wanted, let's start with like a white color. I just fill it in. And so I don't have to think about a color scheme. I could just put it on the one layer. And just use like fill in portions like this. So basically, well, this wouldn't be like a base price kind of deal. This specifically would be like a line art. So you just add on things that you want. So this would be like a base line art, which would be $8. So since line art takes longer and it's cleaner, looks more professional, it would be $4 more than a sketch would be. Like you want color, like more complex color, like more than just one solid color. That would be an extra $4 for any amount of colors that you want. $4. Any extra detail on your character, that would be an extra $2 because it depends on the amount of details. Like if it's kind of detailed, I'd say 2, but if it's like super detailed, I'd say 4. Oh, you want more than just a simple color background? I can add a background for like another $4. So it also has to do with what I don't like to draw. It's like, I don't want to take a bunch of time out to just draw something, you know, I'm not good at and I don't feel proud of. I don't know if that's just me. Like, I want to disincentivize people from purchasing something that I'm not good at. So I feel bad. Till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go. Way too big to be freckles. Put that in. I mean, she's kind of darker. Could probably use this at a lower opacity. It's kind of over it. So if you wanted something kind of like this. Like if your character has a gradient, I would do something like this. Add a little more detail. To create a song, I don't want to miss a beat, and we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Yeah. And I'd never like, if I was like beginning the process and they're like, I changed my mind, this isn't really what I was looking for, I'd give them a refund. But like, if I'm like sketching it and they got the pose and the basic general look and I got the right colors and lighting situation, all that kind of stuff, and I refined it, I'd expect the finished payment, you know. Like, I would never want to rip someone off. That's just, you know, it's shady. But, like, I don't know. Like, I want to protect myself and other artists, but, like, I don't want to seem like I want to rip people off. That's just not cool. Shameless plug. I got a Patreon, by the way. If you want to support me and see things like see things ahead of time and stuff like that. See things I don't really feel like posting anywhere. That kind of stuff. Let's blend this a little more. I don't even know I'm doing this. This isn't even what I wanted to do in the first place, but not since I'm already here. I kind of like the flat color look. So like it's like a monochromatic color scheme always kind of looks good. Like it's not really something you can screw up. But it can be boring if everything you do is monochromatic. So yeah, it's always a safe place to go to. But like I could change the hue of this to be anything and it would look fine. A good filter. See, I'm a filter whore and I love filters. When it comes to like art, that's probably like the best part of digital art. See, like all these look good. Maybe not with that background, but it's up to taste. I think like her color scheme, like the reds, but also like cool purples look nice. Did I hit OK or cancel? Was I really just that good at predicting what the color would be? Maybe I was. Okay. I have a good eye for hue, as they say. No one says that, but it's kind of how I think of it. It's like artists who practice with color a lot can see like variation in color a lot more than most people, which I think is really cool. Just like there's like this one video I watched is like, can you see which color is the different one or whatever? And I got to the end and I could see all the different colors, and it's just like most people will get tripped up after this certain point and like, oh wow, that's really cool. So like, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And you know what? I used to do this thing. Well, I still kind of do it because it's kind of how I see art. I don't know. But like, there's this thing where you squint at something, and your mind kind of blurs away all the hues and stuff, and it's mostly you just see the values, which I thought was really cool. Just like you squint and you'll see the values, and it'll be easier to change the values to what you want. I don't know. Like I did that in high school, and people were like, "Why do you squint at your artwork?" And then, dumb me as a freshman, I'm like, "I don't know. I just see it better." That makes no sense to anyone. But yeah, I saw this art video later, and you're just like, "Oh yeah, there's this method where you squint at your artwork, and you see values better." And like when I was in high school, I didn't know what any of that meant. I just kind of did it. But I say "but" a lot, so sorry. But yeah, I did that, and I'm just like, wow. I did that before I even knew that it was a technique. It's just kind of funny. Like, people don't realize that that artists, they have techniques even if they don't know it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But like artists, I don't know. I don't know where that was supposed to go. I just kind of forgot. Anyways, just delete that and go back to what I was supposed to do. But yeah, I love my filters. Shade filter. See, that's the base colors, right? I turn on this filter. That's a shadow color. I can erase the shadow color and cheat, essentially. Add shadows. I like it better when you put in a big shape with cell shading. I kind of have like a cheating cell shading. It's not really cell shading, but it's kind of like cell shading. Similar to cell shading, except it's not, because I don't know. It's like an in-between. It's not like super realistic detailed shading, but it's like it's an easier version of more realistic shading. So yeah, I'd say it's more of an in-between kind of style. I don't know. Let me know how if anyone watches this, let me know. It feels weird, like, saying stuff like this, because I know not a lot of people are gonna watch this, but, I'm just saying it because whoever is listening, or whoever might listen, they'll want to hear someone, they'll want to hear something, they'll want some sort of interaction, because that's what a video is all about. But yeah, let me know. Give me feedback if you care enough about this video. Let me know if you like the way I shade. Maybe I'll do a tutorial about it. Who knows? Maybe I'll help you find new or different ways of doing things. This is just a reference sheet of my character Samantha. She's friends with my main character Celeste. She's kind of motherly and very warm, which kind of reflects in her appearance. She has a lot of warm colors. She's like a farm girl, and she lives in a small house with Celeste as a roommate, kind of, and her sister. And they just kind of work on a farm. Well, the sister mostly works on the farm. She also works at a cafe with Celeste. They work there together, and they really enjoy working there. It's called the Bittersweet Cafe. And I never realized how much I said that until now. And or but I'll do a double. I'll cheat. See, a lot of stuff is cheating too. A lot of self-analysis in this one, which might be kind of annoying, but another self-analysis on top of it. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyways, kind of back on topic. I don't know, maybe I'll make a comic about it. I've been making little practice panels, but I'm not sure if it's something I'll want to finish. Maybe I'll experiment with it, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm ready to commit to something because I've tried to make comics before, and I'm just not. I haven't been very good at committing to it. But yeah, I like making a lot of variation in my characters. Like Samantha has more of a long face. I don't know. I don't know if I accentuated it that much in this picture. Like, I feel like I have a hard time keeping her face in particular consistent. So maybe that's why I really need this reference sheet. But yeah, she has cute little freckles. I love the curly freckles, curly hair and curly red hair and freckles look. And I like the tan skin and gold eyes look, so I decided to put them all together in one character. It's all kind of a look, but like, yeah, obviously it's a look. But I don't know. I haven't had the freckles and the hair being curly all in one look before. I haven't had this particular look. I've had aspects of the look together before, but I think this is the first time I've put them together like this, and I really like it. But yeah, she's just a real sweetheart as a character. I mean, of course, she has her flaws like anyone does, but I think it makes her charming. You know? I mean, people don't like people who seem flawless. It's just kind of uncanny and just like you can't relate to them. Like, even people in real life who seem to be flawless, you're just like, oh, well, seems like there's something wrong with me because she seems to have it all together. But you have to remember that people don't really show those kinds of sides to them a lot because it's scary to expose yourself like that. So yeah. Same thing with social media. It's partially why I don't really use social media. And it's kind of hard for me to, put stuff out there because it's not like a habit for me. Like, even like answering the phone and stuff, it's just like, it's not really a habit. It's difficult for me to do because it's not something I think about. My husband's texting me. I'll just ignore him for now. I don't usually ignore him on purpose, but I'm kind of busy. But yeah, just chugging along. Yeah, I always watch YouTube artists, and I'm just like, I wish I could do that. Like just talk about things and be interesting, but I don't know. You tell me what I can do to be interesting, and I'll try to see what I can do about it. See, the problem with the way I shade things is I have to I don't know, it's like a sweeping thing. I have to, like with the hair, I shade the hair the opposite way I shade skin. Because I need to add shadows to the skin. Well, no. I have to add light to the skin, and I have to add shadows to the hair. So that kind of backwards. With the skin, I have to. So it's basically, this is the layer, right? It's the shading layer. Shading. And what I do is I fill the layer, and then I erase out where the light hits the skin, and then I add back in shadows for more detail. And that's basically how I do the skin. For the hair, I add in the shadows for the highlights of the hair, because the base color I choose for the hair is usually lighter than how the hair would end up looking on purpose. So, like, that's kind of how I choose my colors for digital. Traditional art, I do things a little different. I can't really film traditional art because I don't have a good quality camera for that kind of thing. But if I ever do get enough followers, enough of a following to invest in a camera like that, I'll do it. Anyways, yeah, I try to choose, colors lighter than what I want for hair, because then I can add in. So basically, I just add shadows over it to test whether or not I like the color. Like, I usually go with a more purple shadow like this. Sometimes it'll be a cooler purple, sometimes it'll be a warmer purple, but usually purple, because I don't know, I like the way it looks. Purple, it doesn't make the skin look gross and like desaturated and gray. I don't like gray dead skin unless I'm going for that. Like if it's a scary, it's supposed to be dramatic and scary or something. But in general, I like it to be like not warm and super. If it's too warm or too cool, then I don't like it, because like if it's really cold, it's more of a sterile kind of uncanny feeling. Like if you want to like convey something like that, I think it's good to use a cooler lighting. Or shadow. What am I? Southern? No, I'm from California. I don't know if anyone can tell. Probably. Anyways, I don't know. I have weird inflections, so don't mind that. Sometimes I'll sound kind of like preppy, and sometimes I'll sound like a stoner. I don't know. Don't worry about it too much. I tell myself, not you. It's kind of weird because, like, in this videos that I just started doing, it's like I'm talking to myself, but kind of not. It feels weird because I do a lot of like self-reflection, but I don't ever like speak about it. I don't ever speak it to myself. It's mostly just like I have thoughts and I think them in my brain. Like the only time I make noises, the only time I do things resembling speech is when I'm alone, like not talking to anyone. Sometimes I'll mumble to myself because that kind of helps me remember things or log things away. But the only other time is when I sing to myself, and it's really embarrassing when like I think I'm alone and then someone kind of like shows up. So I'm like, oh shit, do they think I'm really bad at singing or something? Or like it'll be something embarrassing because like I'll be really into it and like they walk in and I'm like, well, that's embarrassing because I don't know. I guess sometimes passion can be embarrassing because like what if they're not into it and like you're all passionate about it? I don't know. I have the weirdest thoughts. I just have to erase out all the. That's what this is doing. I gotta erase out all the spots that I need to add highlights to. I'll just kind of erase out more the ones that, the highlight parts that I don't want to be as bright. I don't know if people have ever, not that I've seen, but I don't think I've seen people use this sort of technique for not in the same way. Like I've seen people use layers for shading, but I don't think a lot of people have done shading this way. I don't know why that was so hard for me to try to get out. I don't know, like thinking about things, like you understand your own self instantaneously, but like when you try to convey your thoughts to other people with words, I find it more difficult personally. Like I understand what I'm trying to say, but making sure other people understand exactly what I'm trying to convey might, I don't really know if they'll understand because I understand and I already have the bias, that I understand. So like knowing if someone else will understand what you're trying to tell them is very difficult. I don't know. Here. I need to check if I'm still live. I think so. I think I'm still live. Okay. I could bring out Celeste ref sheet. I did ref sheet before I did another character. Hers was first, so maybe I should rename it. Sorry, it's kind of bright. She has a very pastel color palette. I should add a shade layer. Yeah, I always turn it down to 25% for most cases. And I put it to shade instead, not multiply. I used to do multiply. Then I fill it. And maybe I should change this. I don't really want to have the fuzzy outside anymore. What's this? Oh yeah. That's like a guide. Like I don't really trace it. I just kind of overlap it because my characters don't have the same face shape as this base character. So I just kind of use it to help me with angles so I can look back at this and know how to draw my character from certain positions and angles. And also to keep them consistent. Yeah, look at that. Creepy. It's supposed to be like that. I think it's the angle I was looking at. What's going on with my music? Nothing. Okay. Get out of here. Yeah, I did it for that one too. I just Googled this. I Googled head position reference sheet or something like that and found that. And in case you want to find the artist, it's pretty easy to find. Artist, teacher, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, I don't feel like there's a problem with using it because I'm not selling this. This is just for me to use. And I'm altering it too, so it's like 2 layers to it. I just like I love her skin tone. It's just like a caramel. I like all kinds of skin tones actually. I like real pale colors. I like real rich colors. I like this really warm honey color that she has. The brush. I like the watercolor or the regular brush and watercolor brush because with the regular brush it's kind of a solid, it's a more solid line, but it also kind of blends and it's not super solid. It's this density is like what controls it. I like the pencil for general filling color because it won't make it like translucent. You won't see the background through it. And then I like going around the edges with the brush if it's more of a soft style. Like, so it blends in. Like if the line art isn't, like I should probably go over that because you can see the colors coming out. But it doesn't look too bad, right? It doesn't look all pixelated or anything. Like if you zoom in, it's obviously pixelated. But you kind of zoom out this far, you're not really gonna see anything. You can't tell the difference. Should probably take another pass over it. Anyways, should probably add a few more angles. Maybe like back of the head or something. She wears her hair in maybe long stocking pigtails all the time, braids. It's kind of helped me to draw braids better because I don't know. I'm not very good at drawing braids. I'll just kind of draw little fluffy ponytails. Well, not even ponytails. Little clumps of hair. 2 little sticks of hair that's kind of curly and bushy. And then I'd add little curly bits at the end. And it worked as a stylized look, but I don't know. I didn't quite like it. I just wanted to add a bun here because, fluffy curly buns are awesome. I have curly hair, by the way. It's like my icon. It's curly and purple at the ends. Purple silver. It looks more purple in the image because my hair was more purple. But yeah. I don't think people see curly hair braids all the time. Like, it's not portrayed a lot. So I kind of wanted to do that. I mean, curly hair in general isn't, like, portrayed a lot. Especially in drawings. And even more especially in animation. Like, naturally curly hair. It's like, curly hair in any sort of animation always looks weird. Because drawing curly realistic, leaning more towards realistic hair would be very difficult to do, honestly. Like, I wouldn't want to draw every curly lock of someone's curly hair bouncing around everywhere all the time. So that would be really hard. But I think it's okay to do more. Like, it doesn't take that long, honestly. Like, if you're just doing one drawing. But, like, with animation, you have to track each and everything. And that's just another thing to add to what to track. I use a lot of simplified designs, so they don't have to track so much because it's expensive to animate every last thing, too. What now? Oh, my boo's saying I love you. Really? Of course he does. I'm really lucky, Like, just in general, I'm really lucky. Like, I have a nice house, I have a family who loves me. I don't have any, like, financial issues because I'm still young, but My husband's in the military, so I'm gonna move to Japan soon. I'm gonna see the world. I'm really lucky. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's a stigma around having a lot of stuff. So, like, being thankful for the endless amount of things I do have feels weird in most cases. It's just like, of course, like, I'm lucky. Who wouldn't think I'm lucky? You know? I'm not being like narcissistic or anything, but I was born with a pretty face. That's another thing to add to the pile of luck I have. It's not something I earned or anything. It's just something that happened to me that I benefit from. Like, I don't even wear makeup and I get compliments. Like, I don't I don't want this to sound bad or anything, but it's true. It's what happens to me. But, yeah. I'm already taken, so don't even think about it. I'm not looking for anyone. I already have who I was looking for. You can compliment me. I won't take offense to compliments, but I'm not one of those people. Just like, no, you're lying to me because I'm ugly. And they're like fishing for compliments. But I don't take it or leave it. I don't really care. I'm pretty confident in myself. I'm not like, I hope I don't come off as narcissistic, but I don't think that highly of myself. I'm just a normal human being that was lucky. Maybe look at the chat. I have a Patreon, by the way. Isn't that cool? Become a patron if you want to. Don't spend your money if you don't have to. Maybe I should not look, because that's gonna mess with the audio. I don't want to do that. I think this is a good method, just carve some stuff out and then add in the shadows. And this is, I don't know, if you're good at makeup, you'll be pretty good at doing shadows on the faces. On the faces, yes. Facial shadows will probably come a lot more naturally to you. But the one thing a lot of people don't do with facial shadows that is obvious when you see it, it's right here. A lot of people don't put the shadows where they actually belong. It's actually a quite intense shadow right under the brow on the inner corner of the eye. But I think it's partially a makeup thing where you try to put highlights around that area because it'll make it so your eyes look larger. But your characters already have large eyes. You don't need to make them look any larger. It's already like a deformed humanoid. You don't need to make it look any weirder. Unless that's your style or whatever. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying that's not something I feel like I need to do. It doesn't add anything to what I want to convey. Should do it more like that. Blend it in. Maybe add some more shadow onto the nose. The shadow on the nose itself is always, like in real life, it's almost always darker than the cast shadow, which is the shadow the object makes, if you didn't know. Honestly, if you want to do things more realistically, I'd recommend going to Istabrac. And it's kind of hard to spell, but she's a really good artist, and she's like a teacher. And she's on my recommended artist list, I think, on my channel. She's just really good. And if you want to get better at like real stuff, or even just like have it as knowledge in the background, just for like developing your own style or whatever, I'd suggest going over there and watching her critiques. Because she critiques people to make them, you know, more of, I don't want to say more professional, but like more geared toward like professional stuff like game design and stuff. Like if you wanted to be a character designer for like a video game or something, then, you know, she'll give you more information on what they're looking for. She knows that kind of stuff. She's been in the field, I think. But she's a good teacher, like, honestly. She'll tell you about stuff like reads, like how does it read, like value studies, all that stuff. Like she'll tell you what all that. You'll be able to understand what all that stuff means if you watched her. But I could give you a little rundown on my limited knowledge of that stuff. So like a read is basically how easy it is for someone to know what something is at a glance. So like if you saw an outline of something, what is this? What's this layer for? Might be the highlight layer. One moment. Hold on a moment. Sorry about that. Anyways, but yeah, a read is like reads are very important when it comes to having a solid design. Because, you know, you want your character or whatever to be very recognizable at a glance. And that's what companies are really looking for. It's what they want. They want you to make like a unique looking character that reads well as what they want. Because a read also has to do with how well something, like a motif, like how well it's portrayed. Like, let's say you want something to read as male. You have to know what goes into a design that reads as male. Because if you want it to be like a masculine man, there's certain things that you need to add. If you want it to be a kind of feminine man, you add more feminine traits. But there's specific things that are feminine that you don't want to add. Or like a lot of times people's characters, especially characters that are really stylized like my own, they read as very childish. Not so much Samantha, even though she has the large eyes. She reads as more adult because the distance of her eyes to her nose is pretty far. So she doesn't look as childish as, let's say, Celeste. She reads as very childish. And she wouldn't read as an adult if she didn't have such big hips and more of a long figure. She reads as more of like a teenager, even though she's like in her 20s. And Samantha reads as more adult because her eyes are thinner. They're not as round as hers. I gave her big, round, expressive eyes for a reason. It's because she's the main character, and those features are helpful when you want your audience to connect with your character. But the point of Samantha is to be more of like a trustworthy friend figure, mother figure who you can rely on. Like orange is a very dependable, reliable color. And she has a lot of orange in her color scheme. And yeah, I just love her design. It's so cute. But another character, I'll just go Celeste again. She's just kind of socially awkward and stuff, which is kind of why I made her kind of like that, because I'm kind of like that. And yeah, she's kind of socially unaware, like I am. But I wanted to kind of make her, she kind of fits that because her color scheme is kind of out of the ordinary. No one else in her group is like that, so she kind of sticks out. And so that just kind of goes with her personality. She kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. And yeah, she's I don't know. I don't want to give it away because there won't be a spoiler. In case for a comic that I may or may not make, right? But but yeah, let me just say she's not quite so normal. Like in general, I'll leave it at that. But she has a hard time fitting in, and she's lucky to have found Samantha because she fits in with her and she feels at home. She feels like, she has a mom again, in a way. Like, she has a friend, she belongs. And it's kind of like the motherly figure kind of brings out more of a familiarity. So she feels comfortable around her. And, a lot of people don't have that kind of friendship. They don't have a person that they feel like they can always trust and rely on. Like someone, that will always have their back. And I want her, like part of her art would be like realizing how good she has it where she is and kind of living life as it comes to her. Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. Finding things you like, love, I feel is deep inside. I love my characters. They're just. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. This angle is really hard to execute. Like, since she has a long face and her nose is kind of flat, It was hard to get like because you know the nose is probably the most dimension on anyone's face. The rest of your face is kind of flat, even though there is some slight formation. But like the only thing that really comes off your face a lot is your nose, and it's hard to draw in perspective a lot of times. I don't know, like I had to really think about. See, I even still feel like that bridge is too strong for her nose because I know how it looks from the front. It's very simple, right? But from the side, profile views, I used to struggle really hard with profile views. I don't know why, but I guess I just didn't draw them that much. I'd struggle hardcore. Maybe it had to do with like all the dimension that you had to actually put in it, which is probably why I'm better at it now. One, I practice it a lot more, and two, I have a better sense of depth than I used to. Heard that. It was my stomach growling, and I'm kind of hungry, but I'll deal with it. Rather hang out with no one than eat something. Mm-hmm. No, should be the thing getting the most like, but my style kind of simplifies it out. If the nose didn't look quite right, I could just throw more shading into it and probably look fine. Instead of like sitting there wasting time trying to make it look better within the parameters of the style or whatever. When in doubt, just make it a little more realistic. That's what I think. I don't know, I could be wrong. It could be some sort of rule that says, oh no, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that because it'll look weird. I don't know. Kind of go into more realistic mode when I do profiles because I don't know how to simplify a profile view that well. Like this look for a profile view doesn't really satisfy me because it looks too flat and bulbous, and I'm not into that look for everything else in my style. Like it's fine for like someone else's style, but I don't think it fits my aesthetic. Doesn't quite fit. Anything's to fit. If it doesn't fit in, I have to change it or just throw it away. And I haven't erased enough here. The highlights aren't strong enough. I need better values. Oh yeah, values. I was gonna talk about how Instagram, she helps you with values. Oh yeah, she's real big on people not making finished pieces until they know enough about the subject matter. I don't necessarily agree with, but like, I think she has a good point, but I don't think it holds up all the way. Like, I don't think she doesn't really care that much if you're a hobbyist, but like, I don't think it really applies to hobbyists as much. Because really, I'm not a professional in any stretch of the word, but I just kind of do it for funsies and because it makes people happy. That's part two of why I do it. I wouldn't do this only because it makes other people happy. Like whatever, I come first when it comes to me spending my time. But if something I do just so happens to make someone happy, I like to do it even more. Just the fact that it makes someone happy makes me like it more. But I won't do something just because it makes someone happy. Like I used to be like that, and it's kind of unhealthy, so I had to stop. I had to do things for myself. But now I think I have a little more of a healthy balance with that. At least I hope so. But value has to do with how light and dark things are, not necessarily the color, the hue. So let's say I take, I could do it with the shadows. I'll do it with and without. So this is all these layers, right? And so I want to check my values. I could temporarily desaturate everything and see how well it contrasts. I'd say my values are pretty good because things stand out. Like with the hair is dark and it's like about darks touching lights, and the hair is dark, the skin's lighter than the hair, and the eyes are darker than the skin. And I think that looks good. I need to recalibrate my screen because it looks kind of green to me, even though it's supposed to be completely gray. And even without the shading, it looks, it has good values. When I add the shading, it looks even better with the values. But yeah, basically value study is, making sure things contrast well enough. So extra with my music. Light sources aren't really something that I struggle with. Unless I'm doing like really crazy, weird, or complex lighting, which I really enjoy doing. You just kind of do something that's more of a distant light source, and things don't really matter so much because stuff just kind of scatters. That's what they do in photographs a lot. Both like really strong lighting, it's more of like solid shapes, which is where I think cell shading looks really good. Oh, also, having to do with shading, I can tell you how I shade things in like darker, like more night situations. I would just add another layer of shading and put that one to 25%. And then I just fill it in. And yeah, that's a night situation. Maybe I would add a filter onto the actual colors. So they would, maybe I could just filter. See, this is kind of what I do. I kind of experiment. I think about maybe those colors are too red for a night look. So I just change the hue. See, I think this looks more like a night look because things are kind of grayed out a little bit. And it makes it so the lights are more grayed out. I think of like the night sky and seeing things at night, and things look more ashy, more like a silver. You get more of a silver light reflection from the moon bouncing back. which is more of a natural look, and I really like it. But yeah, if you wanted more dramatic lighting, you can basically do whatever you want. But with dramatic lighting, you want more contrast. I don't think everything needs dramatic lighting.
And file Fed and state for free, guaranteed.
Sorry, I just kind of ramble on and on, which I thought would be really hard, but I found it to be kind of easy compared to what I thought it was. I was actually. Sounds like my dad's home. And here I'm opening the, what's it called? It's like a wood stove. That's what it's called. Maybe a girlfriend can. She lives at the house with us. You might walk in. Prepare yourselves. I'm a really lazy person, so like that's why I do all the filters. So it's easier. I mean, being lazy is just kind of finding easier ways to be efficient. I kind of go by the thinking of you kind of need to be smart to be lazy. So like, or creative maybe. You need to be able to find a way to be lazy if you want to be lazy. The action of being lazy takes effort, kind of. It's kind of a weird paradox. This one's more of like a gritty, painterly version of shading because I was using the brush instead of the watercolor. The watercolor does a lot more blending and does things a lot more softly than the brush. I like them both. Just kind of blending it back out. Kind of like the softer look better, to be honest. I like a few harsher, more painterly lines, like this. But I don't like too much of it. So I want there to be a little bit of interest in something big like the hair, but I don't want it to take away from like the face, which is the main focal point in most art. Most art of people, I should say. So people make art of more than just people. They can draw animals, or even then, a lot of times the focal point is the face. Like, but I see a lot of art of people because that's what I'm interested in. I like drawing people, so that's kind of what I refer to, based on my background of art and my preferences. It's actually quite a biased view of art, but everyone has their own bias. Like Mr. Beck has her bias of the professional world, and that's not a bad thing really. But like she has a specific audience for a specific reason. She does more realistic, painterly style stuff. She uses digital medium, but like it's more of like a professional design course, if anything. But I watch it and follow it anyways because I learn valuable information. Thing people can always keep learning. It takes an ignorant person to think they know everything, because how would you know if you know everything? Kind of a paradox. It's like, well, you can't know what you don't know. You can't know what you don't know that you don't know. Like, what if there's something out there, you think you know everything, but there's something out there that you don't even know exists? It's like, you can't know about it. It's kind of impossible. But it's kind of cool to think about that kind of thing. And it's really humbling, it's just like, there's some things I can't even imagine. It's just like, it's really true. I can't even imagine it. It's not like your creativity is limited or anything. It's just the limits of humanity. Like, as much as we do accomplish, humans are very limited. So I think it's important to try to gain as much as you can, as much knowledge as you can about this world. Because even like your most upper limit of knowledge is limited. I don't know, it's just weird random things that this crazy person thinks about. Just gonna add some little highlights on my little hair lock. So cute. It's like, I don't know. I keep wanting to tuck it back because I don't want to hide her face. So I keep like adding reasons for her to tuck her hair back. The frontal view is fine with that. But like, if you ever turn her like enough, it'll cover her face. And worst of all, like I wouldn't even mind if it covered her face a little, but it covers her eye. And I think, I work so hard on this eye. I don't want to cover it up. Just look at those beautiful eyes. They're so golden. So pretty. Gonna check and make sure the stream's still going. Perfect. Let me add shading to Samantha, make her a little better. Unlock all these. Or if I'm mumbling, like, I don't even realize when I'm like mumbling. I have a hard time with that.
Hi, Haley.
Hey, Dad.
You work late today?
No.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm streaming.
Huh?
I'm streaming online.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, and they're going to talk about it for like 5 minutes at least. Didn't even knock. It's annoying. Like, come on, Dad. Come on now. You've seen movies. Made me jump. Noises terrify me. Yeah, this is what digital art is. Coloring outside the lines. Let me just turn the opacity down so I know exactly where I'm coloring a little better. You know what I like about digital art that you don't really get with traditional? So you can just easily lay down a color background and you sort of color and you sort of like gray tone. And it makes it easier to see if your values are okay. Because most paper is just like you put something down on a white piece of paper and that stark white really affects the colors you use. Why am I so popular now? Like everyone wants to talk to me now. The worst possible time. Yeah, digitally, you can just fix it later. But and I know these colors all seem light and kind of what's the word? Washed out. But when I add, shading on top, it'll look fine. My dad trying to start a conversation with me, like, while I'm, in my room drawing, trying to be alone. I'm an introvert. I've been out all day. I was at work and I've been with people all day. I need to recharge. And he just bursts into my room like, oh, hey, let's have a conversation while you're doing other things. I'm like, I can't multitask. Take a hint. Come on. Like, I just want to talk to myself for a few minutes.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to be left alone. I don't want to be alone. I just want to be left alone. I have a blanket that says that, and there's a picture of a cat on it. Because a cat's my spirit animal. Just like anything a cat would do, yeah, that's how I feel. Like, of course I'm a person, and I'm not gonna just be an asshole like a cat would in public, but it's how I feel. It's how I want to act. And maybe sometimes I do around people I'm closer to because I won't feel embarrassed about it. So that's what friends are for. They're to be, they're there so you can express yourself. They're supposed to be there so you can express how you feel, but not always. They don't always, they're not always friends how they should be. But you know what? Just get new friends. Or just don't have friends like me. It sounds bad. I have friends. I just don't hang out with them all the time. Because I'm an introvert. And I feel drained all the time. And I have other problems, so don't worry about it. I'm just good morning. Yeah. You may or may not recognize this picture, this frame. It's up on a few of my social medias. I'm not social. I have an Instagram for my art and an Amino, and that's about it. Oh yeah, I have a Patreon too. Shameless plug. It's cat themed because I couldn't think of anything better. Just like, I don't know. maybe if I gain a following, I'll be able to like have a name for like my subscribers. It's like, oh, hey kittens or something. I don't know. But there's 5 tiers. I'm just like, well, if someone really wants to like support me, I want to give them a better option. So like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Everyone who contributes at least $1 gets to see behind the scenes things, like stuff I'm working on that I don't really feel like posting anywhere else. It's like, if I want to be lazy and I did something and don't want to post it really, I can do it if people are gonna, donate money. I can make myself do that. It's not a big deal. But I don't know, I'm just lazy. So like, if you give me money, I'll be more than happy to post something. It's like I do harder stuff for money. It's not really even that hard. It's just like it takes effort, and sometimes I don't feel like giving something effort. But life is effort, Sometimes you have to try, and sometimes I do try. Like posting videos is me trying. It's just like I don't know what I'm doing. I have to like put effort into like figuring things out. I should stop worrying about that. Not put so much effort into it. Oh, I see something. Bring it over. Putting so much detail into this shitty pixelated version of this drawing. Alright. Or whatever it was there. Okay. Just carrying this effort. It's like people don't realize, like, if you care too much, you're just putting effort into things that you shouldn't. Just like, if something's not going so well with my art, then, I should just stop caring because I can just start over. I can just do something else. Move on with my life, It's like, I don't know, I think it's like almost like a humbleness thing. Like, if someone's just like, like someone walks out of a room and is like in front of you and like kind of like lets the door fall on you, and it kind of seemed like they did it on purpose, Why even put effort into being mad at them, Like, stand up for yourself if someone's obviously being rude, but like, they probably don't care. Honestly, they probably didn't do it on purpose, so probably don't even realize you're there. Like, I don't want to sound like emo or something, but like, they probably don't even like realize that they did that. So like, why get mad over it? I'm a lot more passive than I think most people are. I'm not like super passive, but like, when people let things bother them, they're not being very passive. They're not being passive enough. And there's a time and place to be passive. Like, if you're so invested in everything all the time, like, you're just gonna be, you're just gonna have more anxiety than it's worth. And it's just like, there's already so many things to be anxious over. Why add another thing to it, you know? Like, I'd rather, if I can help it, there's certain things you can choose to, like, not let something bother you. And I know it's hard sometimes, like, sometimes it's, like, there's a good, valid reason, and you need to let those emotions out, but, like, some things are just, like, you don't really have to be mad over it. It's, like, not a big deal. You know? How you interpret things really has a lot to do with how you perceive the world. Like, if you go around thinking that everyone's out to get you, you're gonna start believing it, and that's your bias of the world. So everyone's out to get you. But like, if you're just like, you know, people are concerned with their own problems, then that's gonna be your bias of the world, which I think is true. People are more concerned about their own problems. So like, why would they be concerned with what your issues are, generally? Unless they're honestly just trying to connect with you. Like, only really sad people with nothing good to do. Like, at that point, I just pity them. But like, you have nothing better to do than just kind of make fun of me. That's kind of sad. If you get what I'm saying. I think that's the info. Put it on the socks. I'm just getting a million messages. Why am I so popular now of all times? I'm never this popular. But yeah, I think people let things bother them too much. And it's not like I'm saying like people shouldn't be sensitive. I'm just saying that people should think a little bit, you know, try to change their perceptions a little bit. People are always biased to themselves, you know. Our biggest biases are about ourselves, I think. Unless you're completely like not self-aware, which some people are very like unself-aware, and that breeds its own problems. But like, just be aware. Just be aware of other people, you know. Like, it's easy to just like, I know a lot of people are more intuitive with social situations, so people don't take the time to think about how other people are trying to perceive things. And really, people are just more concerned with their own problems, like I've said. Like, they got things to do, and like, if they're like trying to cut you off, maybe they're just late for work, so don't even worry about it. Like, it's rude, but like, whatever. Like, they cut you off. Don't let it ruin your day. It's not worth it. Like, being angry, in the end, who's that really gonna like damage? Like, probably not the driver that can't even see your face. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. I just think that people should smoke a doob. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not. Don't even worry about it. I might sound like a stoner, but I don't smoke and I don't condone it. So make good choices. But yeah. It's kind of funny how cigarettes are legal, even though they're more damaging. I mean, I don't condone either, but like, you know, there seems to be like a, you know, other interests in mind. But yeah, it's just my thinking. I don't know. I'm open to being wrong. Just don't get really mad because it's not worth your time. If you're like, oh, her opinions are stupid, why would you let it bother you? Like, honestly, just think about how that affects you. You know? Because being angry isn't like a fun emotion to have. At least I don't think so. Like, anger is something I don't really like. Like, very rarely, very seldom do I stay in an angry state for very long. So I just don't like being angry. Like, sometimes it's necessary because it motivates you to do things, but like, you know, like it's not good to push your anger down, but there's ways to, you know, kind of tone it down, not feed into the anger. Anger, it can be very unhelpful. Anger can, you know, it can like inhibit, you know, growth and stuff. Like if you're angry, then you're less inclined to listen to other people's ideas or any kind of stuff like that. Like anger is just kind of like you shut off all logical thought and you put up your blinders and you just charge forward because that's what it's meant for in the wild. It's like a remnant of our past. We don't really have that much of a use for it anymore. It's like stress. It's like what used to help us in the past is now inhibiting us in the present. Like stress was good when we needed to run away from that animal, so our body used everything in its power to get away from it to survive. But now our bodies are being overworked because we're stressing out. Our brain says life or death situation, and then it happens for a long period of time, and it's not even a life or death situation. You're just, you know, you're letting things get to you. And sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't have food, and that's a problem. I need to work. But stressing about it isn't going to change anything. Like your actions may change it, and how you feel about it may be valid, but it doesn't help you. And I think that, you know, you just need to accept that, you know, this is what I'm feeling right now, and you let it go. And you'll feel a lot better. Like that way you won't stuff it away for it to never be seen again, and then it resurfaces. Like, but it won't. It's a way to make it like not fester, but also you feel the emotion, so you're able to move past it. It's like mindfulness. Like if you have a problem like that, you know, if you let your emotions get to you, like be it anger, sadness, whatever, like you feel guilty about something, whatever it is, you know, I think giving mindfulness a try would really help. Because a lot of people struggle with controlling how they feel about things. And a lot of people, you know, you can't control how you feel about something until you change how you think about something. And also what you do can also change how you feel. Like improving your posture, like standing up tall, can make you feel more confident. Like your body, like behaviors your body does and the emotions you feel while doing that are connected. It's kind of weird, but like one can affect the other, and if you have a conscious effort towards one, you can change the other that's more subconscious. It's just kind of weird, but like, I don't know, it works for some people, I guess. You just kind of erase it with the airbrush. I don't know if this is interesting or not, but let me know. But yeah, see the background and the colors after I put the shade layer on, she looks like she fits in the environment a lot better. Especially with the solid colors on. Oops. Oh yeah, maybe I could talk about my Patreon. But yeah, I should talk about my tiers, because I showed this already. You can be a sweet kitten and give me $1 a month, which, you know, it's something small, but, you know, anything helps, because I'm grateful to even have people who care about my art. Like, I'm not just gonna be like one of those people who lets others take advantage of them, because that happens to a lot of artists, and it's sad, but it happens. You can be a bitty kitty and give me $5 a month, and get sneak peeks on upcoming drawings, like, you know, what I'm up to, stuff I don't really want to post anywhere else, stuff like that. And you can be in a raffle. Like, the earlier you do that, you know, the less people I'll have to draw from. So, yeah, you'll be more likely the earlier, you know, the less people are in the raffle, you feel. So you can be a pretty kitty and, you know, have the benefits of those, but the raffle will be for a better art piece. And Cool Cat, you get like basically like a finished art piece. It's a lot like something like this would be, but the lines would be cleaner, because I was kind of lazy. I didn't really want to clean that up all the way. It's close, but not quite. But, you know, it's 20. Oh yeah, I forgot freaking prices. Pretty Kitty's $10. Cool Cat's $20 a month. That's like, it's like $5 a week. It's like a tip jar, really. This Patreon's like a tip jar. You know, if you really want to help me, like, but like, don't really, you know, you get stuff, but it's just like, oh, you're being nice, you know. Yeah. But yeah, you also get gifts, you know, just like oh, this is just a fun thing. You can stop donating at any time, but like, you get like a finished digital art drawing, similar to this, but a little better quality, you know. You can be a fierce feline and give me $40 a month and be an awesome human being. You get sneak peeks like every other thing, but I put commission. I should have put request, and I'll draw something for you. As long as it's something I feel comfortable doing. I won't draw like not safe for work stuff. I won't draw like certain things. Like if it's too difficult, I don't think I'd draw it. But I would draw finished pieces. Like I'll do fan art. Really almost anything, But like, yeah, I'll get you a finished piece once a month. Because, and as long as I keep getting patrons, yeah. Yeah, I don't think this will ever happen. Like, I'm just grasping at straws here. Like this is a nice thing to dream about. It's here in case, I get even luckier than I already am. Lucky enough, and I have fans that want to help me out. But, it's like, I don't know, like, 'cause, like, I keep saying like a lot. Right? Anyways, if I get really popular, I'm kind of scared, like, either way, like, I won't have a big following, whatever. People don't really seem to be attracted to my art, or not selling myself well enough, or something. Or I get, like, a large following, and I get overwhelmed with, like, all these people that need me to post stuff all the time. I'm kind of non-committal. I'm worried about another responsibility I have to stack on top of learning how to be an adult. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't, put so much pressure on myself. Like, this is just something I'm doing for fun, but once I get people paying me, that's kind of where the pressure goes in. Because if I had, I guess, 4 things, I could do is like something once a week. But like if I get someone who donates here, and here, that's 4 things in a month that I have to commit to every month. So plus I'll have to make videos and stuff. But like, this is all, I don't know. I'm just worried about it. I'm talking about it, but like, I don't know. I really don't know anything, apparently. And my friends think I'm smart. Like, I'm book smart, but I'm highly indecisive. Probably because I just see so many possibilities that I get kind of, I like to call it choice anxiety, where there's so many options, so many paths, so many, opportunities that you just kind of don't know where to even start. So you just kind of freeze up and don't really, it's very difficult to make a decision, especially with me because I'm so analytical. I have to see all my options and analyze all of them before I even think about making a decision. And when you have so many choices, it becomes overwhelming. Like, I don't know if anyone else is like that, but stuff like that is pretty difficult for me. Yeah. I think making videos about art is hard for me, but making art is easier if I don't have to make too many decisions, I can just go to my defaults. That's why, like, I tried another art program. I think it was Krita, and I just couldn't do it because there's too many options. And I was like kind of confused, and it was a lot to take in. So I just kind of went back to Paint Tool Site, even though I liked some of the brushes and the way they looked. But I was like, where do I even start? You know, so much to do with. Life is so hard. And her freckles are this color on a shade layer, set at 25%. And take the brush, put that away, and add little dotty freckles, like these. Little dotty freckles, like so. Just kind of cluster them in some places, disperse them in others, based on like how much sun that area would get. You get more freckles where more sun is exposed. So yeah. You get more on the shoulders, more on the cheeks, a little more on the forehead, some on the chin, on the nose. Maybe I put a little bit too many on the neck here, but not really that noticeable anyways. I don't have a set pattern for freckles, I'm more random. So that's too much work, but I want more of like a more natural look with the freckles. I don't want like the basic cartoon 3 freckle design or 4 freckle, you know, because that's sterile. You know, my style was kind of sterile for a little bit, and I really didn't like it. So I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna change that because I don't like it. I'm gonna do something about it. Let me grab that. I don't use black for my lines either. I use like a dark purple a lot of the time. I like purple for general shadow colors. Like even mine. Just the lines. And I'm gonna fix the ear because I don't like how this is going. Like, I do art kind of weird. I don't really, it's more of like a self-critique. It's like I critique myself and fix the problems that my art has until I like it better. So I'll just kind of do a bunch of rough, you know, not good stuff and fix it. It's easier to do that at an earlier stage with traditional art. Because like you can erase it with pencil and stuff, but like, I don't know. Everything in digital feels more final, and I don't know. Maybe that's kind of what scared me off with it for a while. It's like it's easy to change things, but it feels final. It's a weird dichotomy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's probably the darkness of the lines or something. Because, like, in digital, the lines are so crisp and it looks nice. But, like, only if the art itself is nice. Like, you can have something messy that has a good aesthetic, and that's why a lot of times sketches look good, even better than the finished product. It's because, you know, they have a good gesture or they have a good feel, like the emotion's there or something. that gets lost after the sterilization line art. Like I feel like a lot of times, really crisp lines, they might look good, but sometimes they can sterilize your artwork and suck the life right out of it. I know, so graphic, but but yeah. That's just how I kind of feel about it sometimes. Not that popular. Like, you can check me out on Instagram. If you're on YouTube. If you want to subscribe, you can. Whatever. You can unsubscribe anytime you want. I don't really care. Like, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Like, I wouldn't want people to subscribe just because they feel like they have to. But like, if you want to, I'm not stopping you. I think my art is worthy of people liking it to some degree. I don't think it's the best thing in the world, but it's pretty good. Took me a while to get here. I'm just not good at marketing myself, honestly. Like, it's probably kind of a laziness thing. Like, too lazy to put a ton of tags on anything. I don't hashtag anything on Instagram.
That's how I feel when the mirror shows me a stranger. Yeah. And I know that just fragments of a world where your absence all I get to see. Take me back to the planet where you and I are so meant to be. 'Cause I'm incomplete.
I work at a pizza place and I smell like onions. I was cutting onions today, and that's probably why. Yeah, I like the pizza place. It's like a sports bar. It's actually really nice, in my opinion. And the people there are nice. The customers, there's a lot of regular customers because they just like the atmosphere there. And I like working there because I like all the people there. It's better than working at a dental office where it's high stress all the time. Like, at least the one I worked at was high stress. Probably because we were understaffed. Like, honestly. We had like one front desk person, one certified dental assistant, or RDA, registered dental assistant. And there was me, the regular old dental assistant that kind of did whatever they needed me to do. It was basically the runner. Like, oh, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. And everyone's stressed out around you. And you're like, well, I feel stressed out because I'm in a stressful environment. And everyone around me is stressed. Just like other people's emotion kind of reflect back on you. And I didn't want to be in that situation anymore. So I'm pretty susceptible to that kind of stuff. You know, I'm more inclined to be alone because, you know, I'm introverted and it's tiring. And it takes a lot of energy out of me. And it's a lot of effort for me to talk to people. personally. Like, I don't think it's like that for everyone, but like, personally for me, it takes a lot out of me to just have a conversation with people all day. Like, I can be around people and not talk to them and just hang out with them all day. Like, that's fine. But like, just when people want to sit down and small talk, I hate small talk. I'm just gonna be frank with you guys. I really don't like small talk. It's just like a pointless conversation. It's not even a conversation. You're just going over lines that don't really matter. They don't have substance. And you're just like droning on and on. It's like stupid. I don't know. It's things that are pointless I don't really like. It's just like, well, I could be doing something else with my time right now. I could be drawing instead of having this meaningless conversation. Yeah, that might be kind of a strong opinion, but whatever. Whatever. You can think whatever you want of me. Because there are people out there that will always disagree with me, and I'm fine with that. Because there's always going to be people out there that also agree with me. So, whatever. People don't need to agree with people all the time. I think it's better that people don't always agree because, like, what are opinions if there's no challenge to it? Like, you might have an opinion and everyone agrees with you, but that opinion might be awful, or like, or if it's an opinion that has no basis in reality. Well, if you have no challenge it, I don't think most people have the the kind of self-analysis skills. Yes, that's a skill. They don't have that kind of skill to self-reflection. That's the word. They don't self-reflect, so that opinion will never change because it's their opinion and they trust their own self because people, they're not humble enough. I think a lot of the world's problems would be solved if people were more humble. And I don't just mean like they think lowly of themselves. That's not what humble means. Being humble is just like, it's like having humility. It's like it's accepting that you're a human being and you're not perfect. So you could be wrong. And that's okay. Being wrong is okay, because everyone's wrong at some point, If you're a 5-year-old and you have some wacko opinion about something that you disagree with later on in your life, I don't think thoughts you have as a kid will be 100% right. And everyone's a kid at some point in their life. And therefore, people are going to have ridiculous opinions in their life. So don't even worry about it. Like a child's line of reasoning isn't like, it's nothing special. They think, in my child psychology class, they called it imaginary thinking. They think like, or magical thinking. They think of things like in a very, I want to say wrong way. They don't think of things in a logical way because they haven't hit that stage of development yet. So, yeah, interesting. Am I right? But
I am feeling lonely, and I wanna make it start to end right.
Yeah.
They need to slowly, with those gonna lift me up this time.
What do you guys think about commissions? Like, Like, I obviously don't want to rip people off, and I don't want to enable, people who take advantage of artists. I don't want to be an enabler. Because if the more people that let others take advantage of their art, the more it becomes socially acceptable. And I don't want it to be accepted that art is worthless because it's a luxury item. People don't need it, but it's nice to have. So of course, it's like with water, everyone needs water, but people don't expect to get it for free. But something like an iPhone, technically that's a luxury item. You don't need it to survive. So it's really nice. There's a high demand for it, but it's a luxury item, so you don't technically need it to survive. So that's why it's more expensive. It's because you don't need it, but there's a high demand for it. Like water, since people need water so bad, if every company that sold water sold it for a high price, or if water bills skyrocketing, there'd be mass panic. No one could afford water, and that would suck. But I'm sure, let's say there's a scenario, let's say it's an apocalyptic setting, and water, clean water is not easy to come by. You could charge a lot of whatever. You could trade for really essential things for water. Because, it's an essential. You need clean water to survive. So then you could charge astronomical prices in some respects, I guess. I don't know what kind of system would be in place if the world fell to shit. Probably, my guess is it would be bartering. People would probably just trade things. I have a surplus of blank, and you have a surplus of blank. Would you want to trade a certain amount or whatever? But yeah, that was a weird stutter. I don't usually stutter. Just because I'm pulling a Morty. You guys have seen Rick and Morty, the Adult Swim show. It's pretty funny. I really like it. It's my favorite show at the moment. So I wasn't that interested when I first saw promo commercials for it. So I'm oh, it's kind of ugly, but I don't really care if it's ugly because I like the content it has. Just it has something to offer, I'll watch it. I like the humor. It's it caters to the two very opposing sides of me. It's really kind of funny. It's weird and paradoxical. It's funny to think about. I like paradoxes a lot because it makes you think, and I like to think, but I guess I'm one of few. One of few that enjoys thinking. I need to add more to the eye. It's too fuzzy. I need better edges. Instabrack talks about edges, and your edge work needs to be clean. Clean edge work. Yeah, she got little smiley eyes. Catty. I don't want to give her cat eye eyeliner. She doesn't wear makeup. She lives out in the country, and she doesn't really care. She's not looking to impress anyone. You say right what you know, and I mean, I seem to impress people even when I'm not meaning to impress. It's like sometimes I'll just roll out of bed. My hair looks like a mess. Throw it up into a bun because I want it out of my face. I'll go out like that in sweatpants or something. And I'll get compliments like, oh, your hair's so pretty. Oh, is that natural? Oh, it's so curly. And then I'll get comments like, oh, you're so pretty. I'm like, thanks. And meanwhile, I'm not wearing makeup. So, whatever. You know. I say it's like my filler word. People have their own filler words. I use so and a lot. Like, I don't know. I don't know is one of them too. Like, how was it like? I had a train of thought and just got derailed. Oh well. Looks like that's going bye-bye. I like videos actually. Cause like in normal conversation, if you have a thought and you forget it and then you get it back, or like if you want to add something to what the conversation was about a while ago, and you really want to add it, it won't be weird to just go back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm not good in social situations. Usually. Like, I'll be fine. I can be pleasant, but like, in some situations, I'll be like, oh, something's kind of off about, like, I'll just be awkward. Like, I'll come off as awkward. But, yeah. It's not a big deal, but like, if that kind of stuff bothers you, whatever. I don't know. People being like awkward doesn't bother me that much. Like if they're like really, really awkward and it's kind of like off-putting. Like once it becomes off-putting, that's when I'm just kind of like, okay. And I feel uncomfortable. But like if they're just kind of awkward and nervous, or just like something isn't quite clicking with them, I don't think that it's a big deal. Patience is a virtue. People need to try to be more patient. Like, they don't even have to be more patient. All they need to do is just try. Like, in most cases, people aren't trying to be a nuisance or anything. Like, most of the time, people just want to understand and get frustrated when they can't understand. And I don't think understanding someone is like especially if someone's going through something, I don't think you need to understand someone to be there for them and sympathize with them. Like you don't have to understand what they're going through to like know that, to like be there for them and let them know that you're there to listen. Like, I think people are always so worried about themselves. Like, I don't know. I listen to a lot of YouTube videos, and I think a lot of people need to be better listeners. Like, everyone's a great talker, but listeners are few and far between. It's just my opinion. I feel like everyone always wants to put out their opinion and all that. And they don't take the time really to consider other people. Like, when they do consider other people, it's still about them. It's just like, oh, do they like me? Oh, there's something about me. Oh, do they hate me? I'm just like, people are living their own lives. You need to, like, consider them. Don't consider how they are relative to you. Just, they're their own person. And you need to respect that they're their own person. And I don't think there's anything more to that. Like, I don't know if this was any sort of entertainment, but here's kind of where I am right now. I might continue with this reference sheet maybe for next live stream, but give me feedback, tell me what you thought if you want to spend time doing that. If you're listening this far in, kudos to you. But like, you must feel something about this video if you listen this long. And yeah. Give me feedback if you want to. Tell me if you liked it, if you hated it. It would be helpful if you explained why. So maybe I don't make a video you hate. Just add something here. But yeah, I appreciate like anything really, like feedback. If you want to offer like critiques or criticisms, whatever, I'm open to that. I'm an adult. I can handle when people aren't, if I'm not ready to like take criticism, I just won't look at the internet. I'm not a thin-skinned bitch. But yeah. I think we're all kind of thin-skinned to some degree, but like, I can handle things, I can hear hard truths, even if they're difficult. And I won't be in denial about things. Just like, if it's true and it's, you just gotta accept it and like, it's the truth. Like, I'm asking for feedback for a reason. I'm like, if I really didn't, if comments were really such a big deal, I just wouldn't look at them. If I ever came to a point to where like my following was big enough to where I'd get hate comments all the time, just wouldn't even look. Because, maybe I'd just look and laugh and be like, they have no life. So why would they take time out of their day just to like try to, get like some sort of jab at me? Like, do I really get a rise out of them that much? Like, I must be really important to them, or I must have touched a nerve somehow, or I don't know, maybe they're having a bad day and they just needed to take it out on someone. I happen to be in the line of fire. Whatever it is, it's probably not personal. I think it's kind of funny. People take things so personally. It's just like, it's never about you. It's always about the person that's expressing something. They're always worried about themselves. People don't understand that, like, a lot of times. Like, until you get older and you stop caring about, like, you literally stop caring about what people think. Because they don't care. Like, nothing against you. Like, you could be amazing, but like, they probably don't care. And like, even if you were amazing, or whatever, you know, they probably don't really want to know about it because it'll bring down their self-esteem a lot of times, unless they're like confident in themselves, which isn't. It's not always easy, but like, you know, some people are and some people aren't, and you know, that's life. Thanks for watching.